I'll see if I can find if I can find that NES ROM though, just for funsies. Bam, bam, bam. Super Mario Brothers 2. Oh, I should probably change the game. We're not playing River Raid anymore. We're playing Super Duper Brothers. Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers 2. The invisible one-up. I haven't played this in a while. I realize. Blushing. Too late. No! Oh, got it. Screen doesn't scroll. Remember that. Or doesn't scroll back, I should say. Get out of here. One of these days I will buy a Switch. I feel like that's loud. Let me adjust that volume a bit. Did it? FC Ultra reduced to 50. I want to buy a Switch though eventually because I would like to play the new Mario Maker. There we go. That's probably a little better. A little less soundy. No, damn it! All right, we can still save this. Got it. Zoom. Skirt. Welcome to the Warp Zone. Getting a PS4 shortly. Gotta get that PS4 before Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out in March. Oh, you fuckers, I wanted a flower. It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll do it without it. We'll do it live. The tough thing about playing with this controller is, for whatever reason, it will not register the D-pads. So I have to actually play it with the thumb thing. And I don't know about you, but it is actually difficult to play old games with a thumb pad. Like, I would rather prefer the D-pad, honestly. And I don't know if it's just because it's this controller, or if it's, woohoo! Never play... You've never played FF7? Huh. I'm sure you probably have said that to me before, but I didn't remember, actually, that you've never done that. You know a lot about it. Yeah! I mean, I'm not the type... This hole was made for you and me. There's a throwback joke for you from an old Extra Life. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh. I'm not one of those people who are like die-hard religiously into Final Fantasy VII. Like, there's people who are like, Final Fantasy VII's the best Final Fantasy that's ever been made. Fucking fight me. You know, I'm not like that, but... Skirt! 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 Warp zone! Going to 5. That's actually fair. Earthbound I've actually never played, so... It's been one of those things where it's like, I've always thought about playing it, but I've just never gotten around to it. Chrono Trigger is good, I've played that. Chrono Cross... I actually like Chrono Cross, and I guess I'm one of the few people who likes Chrono Cross, weirdly enough. Like, a lot of people I talk to are like, Chrono Cross wasn't that good. I'm like, really? Because I don't know about you, but Chrono Cross was actually really good. To me, at least. But maybe... Aww. Womp womp. Though I'm pretty sure Chrono Cross probably turned some people off because they didn't really do a lot with the Chrono Trigger story in it, even though they made some references to it. But also because the playstyle is, like, drastically different. I knew there was a mushroom there somewhere. I hate those things. Oh. Hey, one up. Skirt. Ugh. Ah. Didn't hit the top. Yeah, the only reason we had a PlayStation was because when we lived in Indiana, my father worked for one of the Sony subsidiaries, and so they had an employee store that you could. Well, they had two different employee stores. So they had a Sony employee store that you could buy Sony things from because, you know, support the company you work for kind of thing. But because they were also, they also owned Columbia House at the time, they had a Columbia House employee store that you could buy a bunch of different, like, stuff from. So, like, movies, CDs, Laserdisc, VHS. So he bought us it was a refurbished PlayStation, one of the early model ones, for... Okay. For Christmas that year. And I think the first game we had on it was Crash Bandicoot. So that was cool. Yeah. That's the Luigi. That's a... I gotta start all over again. Whoops. The Waluigi thing is hilarious because, of course, hold A and continue? Can you? I guess we'll find out on the next time. Next time, Gadget. Next time. I wonder if the SNES version will allow me to use the D-pad. I think this is an FCU thing. We'll find out, though. I'm not aware of that trick, but I'll try it. Not sure which button I have that's mapped to that. I think it's this one. There we go. Give. Skirt. Welcome to the warp zone. Motherfucker. Oh no. Now what am I doing to your little children? I know what I'm doing. Endlessly murdering them. More flowers for me. Right into the hole. Back to the pit. Google confirmed it. So it's you hold A. What do I have that's mapped to A? Oh, it is the A button. Okay. Alright, yeah, cool. So I played Super Mario Bros. On the NES for nearly 30 years, and just recently learned the game has a continue function. When you lost all your lives and you're back at the title screen, hold the A and press start. Beginning of the world you died in. Huh. I mean, you could have just, you know, not said that and then just watched me endlessly replay the entire game over and over and over again. Oh, I could do the, forgot about this. I almost forgot about this. Nope, can't do that. Chaotic evil, not true evil. It's true. I like your style. You make up your own rules, just like me. Gabe Johnson, CEO of Aperture. But now we're in World 8, so, you know. Nice. But I'm sure I'll probably die plenty of times in this level, so, or this world. Beep, beep, beep. Hey. I can appreciate chaotic evil. I'm fairly chaotic evil myself. My coffee is very, very cold, but somehow it's still good, so... It's like iced coffee without the ice. Which is kind of a travesty if you think about it, but... Oh! I knew that was gonna happen. I foresaw that. I did not foresee that. Well, we're about to test that continue function here pretty soon, because I am not going to make it to the end of this game on one life. No siree, I'm not that good. I mean, I'm decently good at Mario, but not with this controller handicap for one. Alright. We got past that part. Now let's get screwed by something new. Give. Woo! Woo! Hey, we made it to the end of 8-1. Do I remember the order of the final castles of this game? No. But I can look that up real quick. But let's get to the end of the... See? Alright. A start. Hey! Nice. Now that's nice. Big Pog. Then we're gonna die again. I forget what better Twitch emotes I have enabled. Ah. Now I'm just mocking myself. Oh, I thought I was gonna die there. I was like, nope, that's gonna screw me. Nope, I managed to jump in just the right time. Get a star. Yes. Oh shit. I'm like... Oh, spam my buttons. Alright. Get down. Mushroom? No? Alright. take the one up, though. Okay. Woohoo. Yay. I just like falling in holes, what can I say? No, as long as I can consistently get this one up. Uh-huh. 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 Oof. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is what you all came to see, right? The endless struggle of one old fat man playing the video games. And right as he grasps the cusp of the highest order, he comes tumbling down, falling deeper into the pit each time. That, my friends, is the quintessential American experience. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Bam, bam, bam. Zoom. 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 Faster, my plumber friend. Precision platform engineering. Oh yeah, speaking of you, Rob, have you seen the, you've probably seen all the Overwatch 2 stuff, right? From, the BlizzCon announcement yesterday. Right into the hole. I'll let you go. Nice. Oh, you haven't seen the Overwatch 2 stuff yet? Oh, shit. So, the basic TLDR is that it is called Overwatch 2. I don't know why they're calling it Overwatch 2, because it's not really like... It's a sequel, but it's not, basically. Do Mercy and Pharah have a baby? That didn't work out too well. I mean, why not? In today's Blizzard lore, who knows? Gotta make it all inclusive for the kids. Oh, getting past World 1-2 here is apparently the, or 8-2, I should say. Isn't it RTS? Man, are you trolling me now? So in a nutshell, Overwatch 2 is basically the PvE content from Overwatch. Like it's Seagull and a couple other people streamed a little bit of the first mission yesterday, or well, what was? They have the first mission on the demo floor at BlizzCon, and so they streamed they streamed 4 of them playing it. So you get it's between, or you have the players you have for the first mission are Tracer, Mei, Reinhardt, and Lucio. And story-wise, they drop you in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. Alright. Mother-in-law, I think, was leaving to go to work. So it is a single-player campaign. So it runs... It's designed similarly to the PvE content that they had in, like, the different events, like the archive events, like Junkrat, that sort of thing. But it's basically like an actual, like, story campaign type of thing. So, like, the opening cinematic that they showed during the Blizzard opening ceremony was of Winston, Mei, and Tracer. And this, I think, story-wise, it's set after they rescued Mei from Antarctica. Or, like, after Winston's recall in the very first scene. Because then in Mei's cinematic, you see her get the signal, get his signal. So they rescue Mei, and I guess they basically form Overwatch. Like, this was before, like, any other members showed up, so it was just Winston, Mei, and Tracer. And they decided to take it upon themselves to go to Paris and try to battle the Null Sector robots that had started invading. And so the whole cinematic revolves around that, and then, while they're there, and they encounter everybody else, Reinhardt, Brigitte, Mercy, and Genji. And so now, basically, Overwatch comprises of those characters. So then the first mission that you play is you go to Rio de Janeiro and you meet up with Lucio. And so now... And so then you run this mission with Reinhardt, Lucio, Tracer, and Mei. And you have to, like, get on board this giant battleship of the Null Sector robots and take out the production factory of robots. God damn it. It's interesting. They've added some different mechanics into the game, so, like, now you have, like, you can make your ult do different things. Well, you can make you can make your weapons your weapon. You can make your weapon, I think, do different things. Hey, enough. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. You are very bad at listening. Um. So here's the thing. Apparently they're updating the engine for Overwatch. So straight off the bat, the answer to that question is going to be that it looks fairly visually good. They made some UI changes. It looks a little more. I think somebody said that it looks the text and everything kind of looks too small. Like it might be something they're gonna have to adjust. But I think they kind of tried to go for like a really streamlined sort of thing, and it seems more indicative of how they've been doing the overlays and stuff for Overwatch League. Like I think they're trying to go after sort of a. They're kind of trying to give it a kind of just a flat look to it, so there's not like too much going on, which is probably because there's going to be so much going on your screen. Dang it! Can I get to the end of the level? Is that possible? Yay! I got to the end of the level. The new So here's the thing. So with the engine upgrade, they have what they call new looks or new skins for the different characters. And they really look mostly the same. They made a few changes, like Genji now has clothes, which is interesting. They tweaked Mercy and Winston's outfit. They kind of gave Mei a completely... I knew I was going to die there. They gave Mei kind of a different look to her. $14.99 a month, right? So that's kind of the thing that is in real contention right now, and I have a couple of Twitter threads. You know, if you want to get super deep into the woods on it, but what bothers me, I think, about it is not so much like what's happening, because I mean, I want PvE content in the game. Like I've been asking for PvE content in that game, and for them to actually make like a real Overwatch lore game for some time now. And it's not that I don't like the PvP, the standard Overwatch. You bitch. The standard Overwatch grind or anything. God dang it. Made in China on it, and you will like it. It's funny though that they're putting a lot of emphasis on Mei. And I'm sure that's unintentional. Like, obviously they were working on these cinematics long before the Hong Kong protests. Or, well, not long before the Hong Kong protests, but long before the whole Blizzard thing broke out. So it feels super bad that, like, coincidentally, Mei is now kind of the face of the protest movement, and she's also like has a larger role to play in the new Overwatch expansion. So that's probably the most interesting aspect of that. One of the things was, so like you have your standard kit of abilities that you already are familiar with. But you have different... It's sort of like a StarCrafty 2 style of different things you can make your ult do. So like the example that they used in the trailer video was that like you can modify Tracer's Pulse Bomb to do not just, a single target, but it'll like branch out and hit other targets. Or Mei's freeze ability can like basically instant freeze and then like shatter enemies, which is kind of cool. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing per se, because it does kind of add a different... Be careful, I think the Twitch... I'm not worried about that. You want to know why? Because nobody on Twitch knows that I'm here. The one advantage about being the super small streamer is that nobody gives a shit what you say. Well, they do, but let's face it, nobody from Twitch Central is actually watching this. Now, the robots that they have watching my stream, on the other hand, beep boop beep. This sentence is false. We'll see if they explode. I didn't mean to do that. The special abilities is cool, but another thing they added, which is it feels more like looter shooter gimmicky, is you can pick up these items now from like drop crates essentially in the game. They're only used for the level itself, but they have like different effects. So like I think two of the items that I saw the people using were one was like a healing station thing, which provided healing, like basically instant healing without the need of a healer. But it has like an... Oh no! Damn it. Alright. Whatever. But it has like an 88-second cooldown or something ridiculous like that, which is interesting. I'm sure that number will probably get changed. But then there was also like a corrosive grenade, which I guess comes in handy when you're fighting the robots. I'm not gonna make that. I'm gonna get backtraced. I do have curtains, actually. Well, they're downstairs. The downstairs has curtains, not the upstairs. Well, the bathroom. The bathroom windows have curtains. But I have blinds. That work? I also have 3 dogs, 7 passwords, and an exploding van. I come prepared. The items though, that might be the part that I'm not really sure if that's going to be like how much I'm gelling with that, but I don't know, like I don't want to say it's going to be bad, because I think that as long as they, like, here's the thing. What's going to make Overwatch 2 worth anything to anybody is going to be the frequency of new content and the price point. They've already said that all PvP content will still be available in the game. So, like, there's still going to be a multiplayer mode, and Overwatch 1 players will be able to play all the Overwatch 2 content, or PvP content. So, basically what it sounds like they're doing is they're coming out with a expansion for Overwatch. Now, stay with me here. They're going to come out with an expansion for... You bitch. They're going to do an expansion for Overwatch. It's going to be single-player content. You'll still... Okay, so here's the thing. I know, I keep saying, okay. I know, it's weird to explain, because I had to sort this all in my head yesterday, and it annoyed the shit out of me that I even had to do this. So... let's say you, the non-spendy, you don't want to put any money in this whatsoever, but you already own Overwatch 1. What you'll get out of Overwatch 2 is you'll get the engine update. As far as I'm aware, you get the engine update. So, new update, new engine, new skins. All your old skins and content stay there. Team. Basically, nothing changes for you. You still play Overwatch as you've always played Overwatch, but you get some engine updates, some skin updates, and the new push map, which is a new PvP mode, and all that nonsense. You get all that for free. So basically, if you're a non-spendee, you're getting a bunch of new Overwatch 2, or you're getting a fresh coat of paint to Overwatch when this comes out. But if you are a spendee and you give them some amount of money, which they haven't determined how much that's going to be yet, you get all the aforementioned PvP stuff, and you also get the new single-player campaign. What they haven't specified is how long that campaign is going to be. If it's completely single-player, I'd get it for free. See, I think though what's going to happen is I think they're going to charge for it's going to be very World of Warcrafty in the respect that you typically with a World of Warcraft expansion, they charge you for the new content, but you're still able to get all the old stuff for free. Like, for example, I have not purchased a World of Warcraft expansion since Burning Crusade. But because I just followed him right in there. But because the way they've always done their stuff is that, like, each new expansion you have to pay for that expansion to play it on day one. But then, like, the last expansion would then open up for free, and you'd get that, like, you'd be able to get into that content just for having a paid sub. So with Overwatch 2, it sounds like what they're doing is since you don't technically pay a monthly fee, they're probably going to have you pay for the expansion, but you still get all the other content for free because you paid for the other game. Now, what that probably means is that they're probably going to monetize the game. They're probably going to have a different monetization stream, because I can't imagine that that's going to be very cost effective for them to give away that game for completely free. I mean, obviously they're going to charge people for the single player content, but they probably know realistically, hey, you know, a lot of our player base is probably not PvP oriented. Well, a lot of it is, but let's just say for the sake of argument. Am I going to be mounting a TV on a Vesa mount in a little bit here? Do I have any tips on how to mount a TV on a Vesa mount? Not really. Mainly because every Vesa mount is different. If I had any tip for you, though, I'd say the tip is don't drop them. Or just make all your kids hold it in place as you screw it in. Child labor. It's not just for China. Oh, I have to delete my VOD now. Oh boy, let's do this level over again, guys. I love this level. This level is so much fun. But yeah, long story short is that I'm not really I'm not really sure how I like the whole expansion thing. I really wish that I think I'd feel a lot better about it if they didn't just call it Overwatch 2. Like, why not just call it... I mean, Blizzard's a company that has been doing expansions on its video games for a long time. Like, why would you not just call the game Overwatch Reborn? Or, you know, Overwatch Returns. like some kind of cool name to differentiate your new PvE content, but not make your entire player base feel like they've basically been left out. And somebody made the point on Twitter that, oh, they're doing this because it's easier for new players to, like, something to do with, like, brand new players who've never played Overwatch before. But why? Like, that's not really... I don't really see that as a... How did that work? Like, I don't really see that as a reason, because to me, I'm thinking, but if you have brand new players who've never played Overwatch before, then you're introducing them to the game called Overwatch. Like, if you've never had, like, say you have a brand new player, and they're going to play Overwatch 2, well, what's your first reaction when you get into a game that has, or see anything that has 2 in it? You bitch. My first reaction with when I see anything that has like a 2 or 3 or 4 in it is, well, what happened in the first one? So now you're releasing a numbered sequel video game. That didn't even touch me. You're releasing a numbered sequel video game. And the first thing people are going to say is, oh, well, what happened in the first Overwatch? And you say, well, nothing. Nothing happened in the first Overwatch because it wasn't a story game. Okay. F5 and F7. Okay. We're going to do... In the interest of time... I'm going to do probably some save state scumming here pretty soon, so... Just because I want to see if I can actually try to finish this, but I also want to move on to Rock and Roll Racing at some point. But yeah, that's what I mean, like... You see a game called Overwatch 2, and you're like, oh, well, what happened in the first Overwatch? Well, this happened, but then this happened, but then this, and then there's some other things. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, in my mind, to call your game Overwatch 2. When it makes more sense it makes more sense to me to call your expansion any other name, and then just have in the game explain, you know, this is what happened. Well, yeah, because in Overwatch 1, or in Overwatch, see, I'm already doing it now. The blue chick was trying to shoot the... It's like you're trying to explain the game to somebody who's like 5. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Because that's the other annoying thing, is that, okay, you know, when the game first came out, we had all these cinematics showing us, like, the Widowmaker taking out Mondada and all of that. And then each cinematic after that basically kind of jumped around story-wise, either before or after that event. So, like, there were a few cinematics of, like, Genji and Hanzo, which I think took place after the assassination. You know, there was some other stuff about things that happened before the assassinations. They jumped around a lot between the different parts of the story. Well, now with this expansion, they're basically going back to literally just about right after the assassination and saying, okay, now here's the story of Overwatch. Here's the story of Overwatch's return. Okay, well, great, but all the story that we've ever been treated to about Overwatch leading up till now has been basically archive events of when Overwatch was, actually Overwatch proper, and it was being led by Morrison and Raze. Soldier 76 and Reaper. So now you're going to have a hard time going to any of those people who... Well, maybe that's the idea, then. Maybe the idea for a brand new, never played this game player is basically to say, Morrison who? Raze who? We don't know what you're talking about. Those characters haven't been introduced yet. Oh, maybe that's the 400 IQ play. Sorry, I'll read your chat here in a second. Maybe that is the 400 IQ play, though. Just to, like, soft retcon. And be like, well, you haven't met any of these characters yet. This is the story as it should have been told. Blizzard did a Blizzard thing. They've been doing it since Diablo 2. They released their games incomplete from patch, then hell and back over the few years to make them playable. This time they decided, let's do that with the story instead. They never actually put it in the game. They figured everyone tell them to watch those videos. There's a TV trope for that. I think it's called all in the box or all-inclusive material. I forget what the actual TV trope is, but it basically describes the way a show will reference information that's not actually in the show, but it's in like side material. Like it was really a thing that anime used to do a lot in the late 90s and early 2000s, where they would have like radio dramas and like side story material on media that wasn't in part of the official show. And so if you didn't actually go read that or listen to it or watch it, you wouldn't know what they were talking about if they then later made reference to it in the show. And that is one of the most annoying tropes, or the most annoying aspects of things. Star Wars did it a little bit too, even though Disney basically then, destroyed the universe anyway. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know everybody who's ever been invested in Blizzard for more than 10 seconds has said that to me, because they're like, well, look at how many times World of Warcraft's lore has been destroyed and rebuilt, with all the extra universes and side and other material. And I mean, I get that, but it's like, I guess what I want to be like is, you can not. Like, if there's anybody that I actually trust in this universe to do something correctly, it's Jeff Kaplan. Like, the man I have a tremendous amount of respect for that dude, because he actually seems to pay attention to the things that a lot of other people don't. And it's probably because he represents the... Hello, my beard lovers. Hello, Bob_Santa. Does that say Santa? That does say Santa. Santa. I might be going blind. He's like one of the last real game developers, though, from that era. Like, if you think about all the old game developers that used to make shit, back in the day, like the John Romeros and that sort of thing, like that era of game development is slowly going out. I mean, not quickly, but it's getting to the point where the new age of development is really taking over. And I think that's why so many people are disappointed with Blizzard right now. Oh, you're gonna screw me, aren't you? Okay, no, we're good. I think that's why so many people are disappointed with Blizzard right now, because they feel like the old spirit of Blizzard is kind of gone. And it's been mostly replaced by the new... Okay, let me try to not get screwed here. Ah! Okay, I got screwed. Let me just walk right into that. Thank you for pronouncing the underscore. Diablonia. I won't say that I hate Blizzard with my heart and soul, because, I mean, I'm playing Rock and Roll Racing pretty soon, so there are a few gems left in this world that are still to be preserved, but whoop. Yeah, I'm gonna start save scumming now, because fuck this. This is so dumb to play with this thumbstick. I almost want to load the SNES version and see if that will, if I can use the D-pad on that, because that would make this a lot easier to play. I mean, I don't hate Blizzard, but I'm definitely very disappointed with the direction that they've gone. Just because it's like, it's not necessary. It is completely not necessary. And it's being driven mostly by Activision. Like, that's what the other reason why I can't completely hate Blizzard, because I think there are people in the company who probably are fine with embracing Activision's culture. But I think the large majority of them don't want to embrace Activision's culture, but they have no choice, because that's how corporate America works, unfortunately. And I mean, we can hate that. I mean, you can hate whatever you want. Oh, I don't care, but it's tenuous. I definitely agree on how tenuous it's become. You're staying for 20 minutes? Thanks, bro. May tune in later. When you stopping? Well, if I don't get bored and or rage quit, I should be around till probably close to midnight tonight, but we'll see how the day goes. But have fun hanging your TV. Yeah, it is nuanced. I mean, I won't lie. It's a very... I know there's a lot of kids on the internet who are mad about it, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to be the type of person who's like, no, you shouldn't be angry about it because of my reasons, etc., etc. Like, you want to be angry at whatever it is that angers you. Like, that's completely within your purview of you bitch. Like, that's Rash Out. Play Surviving Mars. Alright. Like, that's completely within your purview to do. Not a kid, but I'm super pissed. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna do that again. Yeah, when they did the Diablo mobile thing last year, like, I actually did feel bad for for Diablo fans, because the Diablo fan base is probably the last surviving... It's probably the last surviving Blizzard fan base out there. Like, serious Blizzard fan base out there. Woo! Skirt! 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 Nope. Yeah, I did genuinely feel bad for the Diablo fan base on that one, because they've probably given Blizzard so many chances now at this point to do their franchise a solid, and they've been spurned almost every time. Walk right into that one. They've so many chances. Like it is actually sad the number of chances that they've been given to make that franchise whole, and they're just like, eh. Pissed from the start. So basically from the release of Diablo 3 onwards. Damn. How'd that happen twice? From 2? So does that mean you liked or disliked Diablo 2? Yeah, I mean, Diablo 2 I think is probably, well, so I like Diablo 2 because I think it's basically the last, like, solid Diablo entry. I was not going to survive that. I actually have not played 3, but I did play 2. And the fact that 2 still has such a huge base behind it seems indicative of the fact that its fan base basically still believes that 2 is the last good Diablo game out there. Even though I've heard some people say 3 is... it's passable. I have not tried it yet because... I don't know. You didn't miss much with 3. Feels bad, man. But that's what I mean. Like it's so hard for people to rally behind. Like I know a lot of people who were like, "Oh my God, Diablo 4" yesterday at the announcement. But then there were some other people who I knew were reliable Diablo fans. They were like, like they hard paused on that. And then there was another guy who was like, well, I'll be okay with 4 if it tries to at least go back to its roots. And I'm thinking like, well, that's probably not what it's gonna do, but... Because at this point, if you're a Blizzard fan... Well, so if you're a Blizzard fan, you're a fan of World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Hearthstone... Well, no, let's actually not count Hearthstone. Let's just say World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo. And maybe now Overwatch. If you're a World of Warcraft fan, you've basically been jocked around by your balls for the last 10 years. Or roughly since Lich King, Cataclysm-ish era. Whenever they decided to basically just, you know, throw the lore in a trash bucket and do whatever they want. Oh my god, did I actually get past that part? Are we doing it? About fucking time. Burning Crusade. See, that's when I basically stopped playing World of Warcraft, was Burning Crusade. 1 second. About fucking time indeed. Yeah, Burning Crusade is when I quit World of Warcraft. I never played Lich King. I revived my account 3 years ago, or yeah, was it 3 years ago? Is that when Legion came out? It was 3 years ago? I didn't even buy Legion, I just subbed for a month, and I was just playing through a lot of the old content. I didn't finish it all. On the account of basically just being like, maybe it's my age, or maybe it's the game itself, but just nothing about World of Warcraft inspires me anymore. Like, I don't feel... like it just doesn't do anything for me anymore for some reason. One second. It's not what I was looking for. Couldn't stay the full 20 minutes. That's alright, man. I'll still be here. Thanks for watching, though. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Let me just looking up something here real quick, and I'll be right back. Probably save the state first. Woo. That's not a fight. Basically gonna do this on one life, huh? Alright. That's fine. That takes me back to... Hey! No! No! Hold on a second. That's hilarious. Alright, let's just force our way through this. Screw it. That's the thing about save states you can do is just ram your way through. There we go. Alright. There. Got it. I didn't say I was the best Mario player. Just average.